Welcome to my show, the God Awful News, the God Awful Truth Daily Show. Many of those words are just to try to trigger algorithms. Man, yesterday I did one also on Facebook, which was quite interesting because I never go on Facebook. It always messes with my head. And but there were, like, for the 50 or 100 views I get on my channel on Facebook, I had like 500 views, right? I haven't even looked, and there's probably comments if there's 500 views on my 3-hour broadcast. Anyway, but those people are different than you people, right? These people are people I might have known at one point or another. Several ex-girlfriends. Oh, I love you, Tam. Several ex-girlfriends. I'm nice to see. So yeah, the people on Facebook, are a whole different audience, right? It's these, and I took on a few more subscribers. I had 666 subscribers. Whereas I didn't even know, like, I was like, oh, look, that's funny. All right, well, and so for the first time ever, I went on 2 broadcasts at the same time. Right now on Facebook, I decided to put that ocean view and speak not at all, right? Love you, Frankie. So, yeah, this is funny because, so I got 10 times the viewers on Facebook than I did on here, and you would think I would want more of that, but, it fucks with my head communicating with everyone I've ever known. You know what I mean? Including ex-girlfriends, guys I know that are fucking dipshit MAGA people. Of course, but I was thinking, I'll keep doing that, and I'll just, every time I get root out the ones at this point that are still broadcasting that they're MAGA, it's like, it's so embarrassing for them. And so, but I'm thinking maybe I'll try to get back down to 666 by unfriending a few people. Because that would be great, just to clear out all the MAGA people from Facebook. I don't care how long I've known you at this point. Come on, man. It is just fucking, you gotta be stupid. So I've got all the news again. I can't help but freaking compile it now and give it to you. It is a habit of mine. It's good to get these demons out. And if you thought the news was bad yesterday, of course, it's worse today. And you probably already know that. But if you don't, I'm here for you. Yeah, and I'm starting to look, see, I've got these props back here, okay? There's my swim stuff over here to make me seem like a swimmer, cool guy. My skateboard, that's gotta make me seem cool. And then I got a family picture, I got my little tush over there, I got this next to me, because if this was sponsored by somebody, it might be sponsored by Crown Royal. I did my job and drank a bottle to say thank you for putting up with our terrible president. And I got this book on this. I'm going to read this National Geographic and then tell you about memory. Is that coming in backwards? Anyway, the whole thing's about memory. And my friend just lost some of his. So I'm thinking I should read that. That was in the aisle. Did you get fat since the fire? Well, I've been exercising just recently. I paddled out like 2 miles last night. It was on View. I made a movie of it, and in honor of my friend who just passed away. Hopefully it's starting a new habit. I should be out there right now. There are little baby whales jumping out. So close. I've never seen, they were right here, 200 yards out. Last night I paddled out 2 miles and I was like 200 yards from them, but it was getting dark. And what happens out there, it's crazy. So the hunting begins, right? So it's maybe a shark or some other predator. There's a lot of predators come out at night. And then you see, flying fish can come out all the time, right? But also little schools of needlefish will start flying out, and they will impale you. So it freaked me out because like a whole school of them flew out next to me, and I was like, oh fuck. But I was 100 yards, 200 yards, about 200 yards away from a pod of dolphins last night. I made a whole video about it, or I recorded the whole thing on GoPro, and there was a lot of local talk with some local guys. One guy who's been here 4 years in the state and here, and another guy who's been here 3 months. And then what else? And then and my friend Skeeter, that I used to be in the Rotary Club with. When I had a stable life, I was able to be, somebody who tried to, do the right thing. So, all right, so I got so much bad news. And one of the interesting things is, okay, so last time I did this, I explained, that Trump was talking while I was doing this, and he was just lying about everything. And that the numbers were all wrong. But God only knew how bad the numbers were. I mean, they're so bad. And I'm about to show you how bad they were by a really smart guy. I've been watching this guy, Steve Leisman, at CNBC for 30 years. And it's cool because he's one of those guys, like Jonah Hill stayed looking 13 for like 30 years. He's looked 60 for the last 30 years. Oh, so funny. Anyway, yeah, he explains it real easy, and that was that screenshot that is for the video is what he points to. I'm gonna play his voice here in a second, just explaining. Trump oh God, I'm so glad I'm sitting down. Oh, it makes me laugh so much. I could barely stand up if I was. Oh my God, so he applied like his own made up first grade level math. It was first grade level math that was wrong. And it's so bad, it's unbelievable. And he just embarrassed himself and upset everybody in the world that could ever be upset. I'm sorry I didn't see that. I missed that last one. And look, there's very few people watching, so this is very interactive. If quick enough, I got glasses too, to read it. I can answer questions, and feel free. Let's interact if you want to. It's like a private channel with 10 people. But fuck, on Facebook yesterday, I had fucking 400 people watching. Holy shit. And it's everyone I've ever known from my childhood, every job I ever had, every girlfriend I ever had. Fuck, it's so weird. Teammates of mine from different sports, and it's pretty funny. Like a bunch of rich guys, like a guy that owns 5 restaurants here, who I was like, I told him, hey, I said, I might use your name on an application as a reference. I just straight up told my son, because I didn't know, it didn't tell me on Facebook how many people were watching. And, but it would just say like this person, it would give me one name at a time once in a while. And then I'd just speak to that person. But one of them was the guy that owns these Monkey Pod restaurants, and who's partnered up with Peter Merriman. And so it's, I was like, hey, I might put your name down as a reference, or I just want to let you know in case I apply there. But anyway, it's funny. And then an ex-girlfriend popped up, who's now a widow, who, I've never known anyone with better habits, right? She works out 6 days a week, is a freaking consumes the healthiest diet you've ever heard of, and she's pretty close to my age, and she looks really good. She happens to be a widow, and and I've got nobody to cook for, and I've often thought, man, if she would just let me cook for her, it would be so fun for me. Anyway, so I was able to tell her that personally, which was interesting. And shit like that, you know what I mean? It's just so charged though, but just like Facebook always fucks with my head, just all these thoughts, right, that are just consuming, and I'm gonna stay away. But I have a live broadcast of the ocean Facebook where I never did that. I thought instead of doing a second fucking camera right here, I was like, I'm just gonna do that. So, so we're gonna talk about the stock market, of course. If you've been listening to my advice, you're not gonna lose anything you ever owned or all of it, because we've been way ahead of this shit, and yeah, life is good. And then yeah, but there's a whole shit ton of bad news. Oh, I just had a drink. I should tell you, I am 1.5 beers in. Not really beer. I'm improving my gut bacteria here with kombucha, alcoholic kombucha. And man, there's got to be a business opportunity for somebody out there, because there's so much of the country does not sell that shit right now. If you drive across the United States, that shit you can't find, right? And I mean, it's cool. Anyway, I'm just saying. Some places have it, and a lot of places don't yet. So there's a market there. If anybody wants to put it in their store, it's a good idea. I mean, who doesn't want to improve their gut bacteria and drink a 6% beer, basically, that tastes pretty good? This is passion orange guava juice. Now, of course, over here you'll see that is the Lilikoi cider, correct? This is passion orange. Oh, it's 5:20 by the way when I started this, but I wanted to start it at 4:20. But this is all so bad that I just kept having safety meetings, and so yeah, yes, I'm super safe. The Lilikoi cider back there, right? So it's passion fruit, which is Lilikoi, and then on top of that is the kombucha, but that's passion orange guava, Lilikoi orange guava. So if you want to blend some drinks, you can blend Lilikoi cider into your passion orange guava kombucha. It's a swell time. Just saying. It's fun to be rebellious and mix everything, as you see in the kitchen. So, yeah. But that was very, man, I mean, it got me charged talking to 400 people, I guess, but a lot of people that I know. Like, and have all these interesting relationships. Now, this guy who owns all these restaurants, he's the last guy in my life here on the west side of Maui that I've been able to talk to about the stock market, because he was a finance econ major at University of Oregon. And he married a woman who was part of a family who's worth tens, hundreds of millions of dollars, who owns another whole restaurant company, and he was being groomed to run that whole company, and then he rebelled and said, "Oh, I'll do this other thing." So, and with his wife and her assets, maybe he had a few, I don't know, but so yeah, the two of them partnered up with one of the founders of Hawaiian Regional Cuisine and have started a whole other company that now has more than one brand. They got a new one, and one of them opened up right where I used to work before the fire. The one that went out of business the day of the fire is where this guy's new restaurant is, which is kind of funny, right? Here, I gotta put it here. I gotta look at the camera more. I gotta not look. I want to show you those bags though, because the ocean's right there, and there's whales out there. And anyway, so yeah, haven't got to the news yet. Sorry. All right, we're gonna get there. All right. Cheers. I think that's what I meant to say. All right. Okay. All right. Holy shit! So last night a whole bunch of people died in Gaza. They bombed a school overnight and killed over 100 people, and a whole bunch of them were children. All right, so sorry to tell you that, but that may not be in the news, but that's what happened last night, and several hundred more were hurt, and and they're forcing people to move out of different parts and into other parts, and they're going to start moving people out so that Trump can turn it into the Riviera of the Middle East. It is, and as he said in the flyer that he had dropped, you're gonna be completely removed, and no one's even gonna remember you. How's that for adding? There's a lot of injury there, of course, and there's a huge insult to go with it. Yeah, that's the President of the United States. All right. It's so bad. Of course, seems like he and Hegseth, you know, the Christo-fascist, white supremacist, white nationalist, wants to go to holy war with Iran. So they're just starting to set the stage. And they're talking about that all the time. And that sucks. All right, so that's about war with Iran. That's just one of the countries, you know. And there's so many more. We're already bombing Yemen, right? They're getting their little itch on bombing Muslims for the sport of it. It's terrible. All right, and I'm tired of hearing. Interesting. I don't know what you're talking about. Or you mean okay. You're watching that also? Okay. So like I just heard it said today, and it's just not really true. Okay, here's what's true. The truth is people protesting they're not pro-Palestinian or pro-Hamas. They're anti-genocide. That's all they are. It just hurts their souls to see 25 children murdered overnight just today. Like in 10 days, they wipe out more Palestinians than were killed on October 7th. No one excuses what they did on October 7th. The Hamas did, but they've killed so many. They keep doing it, but it's all part of this and they bombed the salination plant so they can't have water, right? I mean, just cruel. Wow, they're forcing them out of Rafah, which is the part they were told forced them into, and they're going to start deporting them, I guess, to the West Bank, maybe? I don't know where they're going to send them, but that's what they said is going to happen. So that's not really in the news much. Mostly tariffs, and we're going to get there. Sorry about that. That's bad news. I didn't want to give it to you. I wish there was better news. All right. The National Security Advisor has been fired because we have a weirdo named Laura Loomer who's gotten into the head of the president. And that's one more probably rational person who will help protect the country and make good decisions and monitor the behavior of these sociopathic, narcissistic, pathological liars. And he gone, and a couple of others, important people, because, we just want to invite trouble while we make everybody hate us, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, and then let's see. With all the countries we've deemed Mexico the classification it needs to be so that we can do military interventions, right? Terrorism classification. So that's bad. Are we going to start doing war with them? Okay, and then there's Venezuela. We are at war with them. Apparently, that's how we justified, deporting probably many of those people who were innocent. Jesus. So, oh God, disgusting Pam Bondi. You should hear this fucking public statement she made. She's like, they caught him. They found him when he was... You know what he was doing? He was hanging drywall. My fuck. He was working a 60-hour work week, supporting a family. And but he was associated with this thing in this gang conflict where he killed somebody. Man, he was part of some thing that happened 10 years ago. And it's like, and the person that they say that he inflicted harm on or was involved in was another gang member of another. So why would they want him to have done that? And he was probably just defending himself if that ever happened. And nevertheless, his life is over. He's going to be sent to El Salvador, and he'll never be seen again. And he probably has a freaking family and a couple kids. But the whole part where she's like, and they caught him hanging drywall. It's like, holy shit. Of all the freaking things to accuse someone of, it was just, But, look, if you've ever thought, could I become a lawyer? Could I get through law school? Man, when you see Pam Bondi You're like, man, it seems like anybody can do it. And literally, I'm thinking, maybe I should try to get a law degree. That would be fun. I mean, if Pam Bondi can do it, fucking anybody can. Holy shit, she is so stupid. Anyway, all right, moving on. All right, so, and then let's see who else. Greenland, we're threatening war with Greenland. And then Panama, threatening war with Panama. Of course, we were already bombing Yemen. Who else? Canada, I guess. Now we're going to try to make them the 51st state. We'll make them bend the knee. None of it makes any sense. All right. There's been a lot of, if you don't watch the news, there's been a lot of talk about civil war. And then this expert was talking about how it would exist if it did. And then it would be like in the countries where terrorists do nefarious things, bombings and things like that. So that's been happening, and it's bad news. It's the first time I had to say the word civil war, because hasn't really been in the news much. But now, and then there's this conjecture about because Stephanie Miller, I like to call her, poor lady. No offense to ladies everywhere. But Stephanie Miller, he already floated this idea, but he wants to, if he wants to round up people in Virginia and send, troops from North Carolina in there, and then there's a standoff between the National Guard in Virginia, and, that's how one scenario that's been talked about. I thought you were going to do your show at 2 p.m. I'm not quite that organized yet, sorry. That last one was 3 hours long, and it was watching the stock market start to have its worst day. Of course, today it dropped. Yesterday was 1,600. I thought, pretty safe to say it would drop between 500 and 1,000, like I mentioned, but fuck, it beat the shit out of that prediction at 1,600 the first day, and then second day today, 2,100 down. Holy shit. I mean, we're talking chaos. But we knew that was coming. We know it's going down. We've been talking about that. If you're in the markets, hopefully you were smart enough to protect yourself, because you knew it was coming. You know what I mean? Like this private little small channel with the 50 people that watch this, they're getting probably the best financial advice of anybody in the fucking world. And also, if you're not in the stock market, if you got 10 grand, take 3 grand. If you got 100 grand, take 30. If you got $1 million, and if you're one of the people here who might get a settlement, right? Maybe I'm going to get a settlement, right? This is what people need to know, because you figure people get settlements and I don't know what to do with my money. All right, you take 30% of it. This is the most conservative, right? An aspect of investment is risk threshold, and that all deals with how much of your money you put into the stock market. So what would be the most conservative advice? And this is the proper usage of the word. Republicans have corrupted that word. A conservative doesn't mean a goddamn thing in their little world. But in reality, conservative means you're conservative and you make sure you don't lose all your money. And so it starts right there. Instead of doing 60 or 70% and 50, 40, I'm telling you, the most conservative number you're ever going to hear, 30%. Just take 30%. And then your goal is to take your 30 grand or 300, whatever, split it 20 ways, 1.5% in each one, right? Companies that you carefully buy. You identify the ones you want, you buy them. And based on a structure, I recommend 16 of them, dividend payers. Either give yourself some sort of discipline, 2, 3, 4, 6%. Say nothing, I'm not gonna look at anything, doesn't pay 6% or 5%, right? Start there, do a reverse, search, and start learning about all those kinds of companies. You're gonna find real estate investment trusts, utility companies, mining companies, and a whole lot more. And banks, whatever. Maybe sometimes AT&T and Verizon pay 6%, but whatever. Discipline, but dividends. Dividends for 16 of those 20, and then 4 of them take a flyer on. A tech company, someone that pays 0 dividend. And I got 3 ideas for you that are interesting as shit to me. We all know Tesla's burning. Teslas are burning. Okay, there's a market for $100,000 to $200,000 electric cars. I think they're all domestic companies, right? So I don't think tariffs necessarily, not sure. I haven't studied it deeply, but it's easy to assume that people that are going to take the market share away from Tesla are going to be Rivian and Lucid Air. Just saw a fancy fella talking about Lucid Air. That's like $2 or something a share. Fascinating. I'm going to look into it. But those are the kinds of companies. Those are tech companies and car companies, right? $3 a share. Tesla was at 600. What if Lucid is $600 a share someday? I'm just saying. And the low on Rivian is $8 a share. Came down from 125. I haven't looked at anything today, but yesterday it was at 11. Okay, what if that goes to 200 or 600? That's Rivian. So that fascinates the shit out of me in that category of, right? But in the category of, like I said, I haven't looked at anything today. In the category of real estate investment trusts, like Annaly Capital Management, yesterday it was $19 a share, meaning it pays 14%. If you lock that down right now, that's 14%. Even if it goes down a little bit, who gives a shit? So what if it goes down to 5%? You're making 14% on your money. 14. That means if you have 20 grand in or 19 grand for 1,000 shares of Annaly Capital Management, you're gonna make $2,800 in dividends your first year, right? $2,800 in dividends put into your account in a 12-month period that you can put into more stock that pays 14%. And your doubling time becomes, predictable, right? And that's where you crush it. When you know you're going to double your money every 5 years or 4 years or 6 years. You could take 40 grand and in 4, 5, 6 years, it's 80. And then it's 160. And then it's 320. And then it's 20 years, it's $640,000. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Predictable returns. So that's why I love dividends. But it's also kind of fun, to get some stock that's a high flyer. Like all the ones that are $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a share. Like, one share of fucking Costco, which is thriving because it's not an anti-woke company. It's the only company kicking ass, taking names, and all this carnage. Is the one that didn't go against DEI, Costco. And it's also defensive, I guess, when you're purchasing things because you're worried about the carnage from incompetent fools in Washington. So, so this is portfolio talk, okay? If you're not in the stock market, there are opportunities that come along once in a while. And what's happening right now is we're seeing one of those. If you've never heard of this idea, you want us to buy low, sell high. Well, the stock market's going low, and there will be opportunities. And that's why if you only have 30% of your money in the stock market, even if you're not watching your portfolio, even if it drops in half, well, that's 30%. So you now still have 85% of all your money, right? Big part of investing is not losing all your money ever, right? Playing defense and offense, right? So, but having said that, if you got 30% of your money in the stock market and then it drops precipitously like it just did, and then it keeps dropping, at some point it's going to find a bottom, and any company that's doing fine, because there's going to be lots of companies that are doing fine, not affected by any of this craziness, like utility companies, maybe the defense companies with all this war shit. Maybe defense companies are going to thrive. I don't know. Figuring that one out is that's your own, that's your job as an investor. You're going to make all your own decisions, but if you follow some fucking rules that I tell you, it's the best advice you're ever going to get. Now, you know who else manages 20 companies at a time, generally speaking, was Warren Buffett, right? That was his plan. But this is like the most conservative you're ever going to hear. But this is anyone can do this, all right? You don't need to think that somebody else needs to give you the advice or needs to manage your money. You just need to not be afraid to think you're smart enough. All right, okay, enough of that. So let's listen to Steve Leisman. talk about tariffs and what just happened, because it's fascinating. But I'll let him say. I'm not going to show you him. We'll just listen to him. I'll turn it up, and this will be good. All right, just listen to this guy, and you see the chart. And basically what it's going to be getting to is this chart, which you've seen, which were like the real tariff that country's charging us is 1.7% or 5.4%, right? And in but he said they're charging us 90% or 60%. I mean, he's so far off. It's so far off. Like, of course, I knew all the other numbers were going to be a lie, but I didn't know how bad that whole billboard was. I mean, it was just absurd. Of course, the tariffs put on freaking Antarctica as well. Nevertheless, let's listen to Steve Leisman. I'll try to shut up here for a minute.
And upping it recession odds to 60% from 40% previously, citing obviously the tariffs, the effect on business sentiment, the effect on investment, and the effect on and on consumer price. They said, quote, these policies, if sustained, would likely push the U.S. and possibly global economy into recession this year. And if I could shift gears, Melissa, we just got an email from, or a study from the Cato Institute. What they did is they looked at the tariffs that the White House says countries charged us versus the actual tariffs they charge. Take a look. Vietnam, they said that President Trump said it's 90%. It's actually 5.1% for an 85% difference. We'll go down the list. Taiwan, Switzerland, which is known to not charge almost any tariffs at all. 61% the White House said. It's actually 1.7. Indonesia, where we get a lot of garments from, they're at 5.3. The White House says they're at 64. And very importantly, the European Union. Remember when the president said there was 39, and then we go down the list. These are important trading partners. Now, of course, there are some non-tariff trade barriers that are difficult to quantify, but the White House basically being accused by people of using a formula that no one has ever used to come up with these tariff rates and then say, oh, we were kind to them and we get half. Melissa?
Well, there you go. Oh, sorry. All right. Well, there you go. I mean, such a disparity between reality and what was on that board that he just publicly embarrassed himself with. I mean, that's just, it's amazing. I mean, anyway, all right. So there's that. That happened. Let's move on. Oh, and he ran away to go be with these disgusting people who run Live Golf, right? These Saudi Arabians who killed Jamal Khashoggi. All of the 9/11 perpetrators were Saudi Arabian. Osama bin Laden was Saudi Arabian. And Trump went to go take their money to have an event here at one of his golf courses. And that's pretty gross. While the country's being destroyed by him. All right. And you heard it. Recession. They're so wrong. It's like 100%, but they're like, oh, he upped the possibility of a recession to 60% for the year. You know, whatever it was, Morgan Stanley or one of the big guys. I forget who it was. Morgan Stanley. Anyway, all right. Enough of that. There's they showed recently, if you haven't seen the news, it's just horrible. But Ted Cruz's face has been in the news. He's been saying some words. His face is there, and it's just awful. I mean, it's hard to keep your food down, you know. And I just wish we didn't have to experience that. God knows what he said was just god awful. Let's see. The Final Four, sports, a little bit of sports. We got 2 Final Fours coming up. We got the women and the men. On the men's side, we got Florida and Auburn, and Duke and Houston. And the winners of those 2 games will be playing in the finals. And then the ladies, we got South Carolina and Texas against UCLA and UConn. And then the winner will be in the finals. A little bit of sports news. All right, next up, that's big stuff going on sometimes for some people. Possible no exports to European Union is considering just not allowing any imports from America. Oh, it's going to be so good for our economy. I love that. And then, of course, Congress just overturned our tariffs for Canada. But I think they've been insulted. I don't think they're just going to, like, be all happy now. Oh, you decided to do that now. It's less, oh, like really, we'll see. Oh, and just like I said, the news will include a talk of trillions of dollars taken off the board that disappeared. And the numbers are, it sounds like they're saying 10 trillion so far globally, and 5 trillion in our country. Just gone from your 401ks. Because that's what Republican voters were voting for. No more Social Security, 401ks dropping, national parks not usable and desecrated by logging and mining, children not getting their food anymore in school, poor people not having a food bank. That was an important priority. Rounding up innocent people and locking them away in a dungeon for the rest of their life with no due process, no evidence presented. USAID killing 3 million people a year by not helping them like we were just a few months ago. That's going to cause over 10 million new suffering dead people thanks to this wonderful administration. I mean, what could go wrong with the economy? I don't know. You put a bunch of freaking dipshit white nationalists, racist traitors, con men who aren't smart, like Donald Trump just proved to the world. I mean, that's first grade math done wrong. Yeah, what could go wrong? I just don't know. Retaliatory tariffs are, of course, coming because none of our tariffs made any sense to anybody because they were all totally wrong. So we're just gonna get, everybody hates us now. And I'm sorry for using the H word, but it's terrible. Trump put out this thing that I think what he wanted to say, because some awful person like him might think that, it's all about only the strong will survive. That's what we need to do, man. We need to make it fucking only the strong will survive, because he comes from a dad that said he likes killers, right? Like he lives in such a fucked up world. It's so sad. It's so weird. But he put out a tweet. This motherfucker put out a tweet. What he meant to say was, only the strong will survive. I'm gonna make sure your lives are almost fucking impossible. Only the rich people that can come out alive. He wants to kill off the people who have disabilities. He wants to deport and kill off as many minorities as he can. He wants to subjugate women, take their right to vote away. Bend us. He wants martial law. He wants to bend us to bend our knee to him, right? It's just crazy. Nevertheless, that's what that meant, right? That only the strong will survive. He says only the weak will fail. He sends out that text, right? Amongst 2,000 points down today, only the weak will fail, right? If you lost your Social Security or veterans benefits, you're the weak who are going to fail. Or if you have a disability and you got fired because, you're a DEI hire or you're a woman, getting rid of Black history, holy shit, it's crazy. It's so bad. All right, it's bad news. If you thought the news was bad yesterday, fucking A, it's going to be worse tomorrow. And it sure is worse today than it was yesterday, down 2,100 points. And NASDAQ is fucking, holy shit. I haven't looked at the numbers, but I mean, from its peak to now, I think it's at 15,000. Was it at 22? Anyway, I'd like to know what that percentage is, because it's more than the Dow, right? And, that's some shit. But also, all the billionaires that were sitting behind Trump just lost so much money. Of course, it doesn't make any difference in their lives, but in their ego, I think it makes a difference. So that's fascinating. So a judge has ordered, if you haven't heard, one. It's good news. It's good. It's the most good news, but it's just one of them. But one of those people in El Salvador, they're saying they can't get back, so we don't even know how that's going to go down. But a judge has ordered one of them needs to be brought back, man. This poor fucker that has a special needs kid, like maybe an autistic kid, and a wife. They both work full time. All he's guilty of is working full time, being a fucking great contributor to his community. Oh, and of course they tried to accuse, they doubled down. He's part of he's a bad person. That disgusting fucking press secretary. Holy shit. Oh my God. All right, moving on. At least there's one that's going to be retrieved, right? Russell Brand apparently is potentially a rapist. He's been accused of it, and it's resurfaced. But just like any Trump supporter. All right, and then there was this interesting incident where a bunch of racist, vile shit that just didn't need to be said. The guy just rolled his window down and just started yelling racist shit at these ladies who were doing nothing. But they looked like they're from the Middle East, but they're born and raised here or whatever, or they look Muslim. They probably had headscarves, is what I'm saying. I don't want to characterize that the wrong way, but anyway, you get the point. This guy identifies these people as people he just doesn't like and screams at them from his Tesla truck, of course, of all things. And who is it? It's Labia Majora Trader Scream. Marjorie Trader Green. Majora Trader Scream. Her ex-husband. That's who it is. And so, yeah, that's in the news if you haven't seen it. And then, so there was this abduction of this, and just kidnapping of a kid that. He was interviewed by PBS when he was 16 years old, a strawberry picker, still a strawberry picker. He's the guy picking your strawberries. A labor organizer, a Mexican guy, and he was rounded up on a country road, right? Which speaks to what I think is going on, which I've mentioned before, is I think they have this Peter Thiel evil phone tracking system that they're tracking these migrants, immigrants, and anybody they want, right, with this evil shit, Pegasus and other things probably. And so they're finding them because they know exactly where they are, right? And so if you're vulnerable, man, get a Faraday cage. I think you can get them on Amazon. Maybe a bunch of foil around your phone will work. I don't know, but you're going to want to put your phone in a place where it has no signal going out at all. Faraday cages. And there's videos about the ones that work and don't. I've watched those. But you need a purse for your phone that sends nothing out, man. If you're vulnerable, they're coming for you, and they know exactly where you are because you have your phone with you. Or put your phone somewhere where you're not. And have fun doing that, obfuscating where you are and seeing, what happens, if ICE detention go towards that, right? Put that in your redneck neighbor's house. So, all right, and then what else? I think that's it. What time is it? 44 minutes. We did pretty good today. So, yeah, if you haven't protected your money, look, the stock market relatively is still actually high. It's not too late to sell. Maybe it's already bottomed out, but I would not feel safe in this market. Look, two things drive the stock market: news and numbers, and the numbers are just starting. There was a good jobs number. There was more than expected, but the jobs losses from the federal government haven't even started to show up in those numbers. So They're not probably really reflective of what's going on. And there's really not much reason with all the chaos and all the variables, whether it's people traveling less or not traveling to our country, not flying, the auto industry getting crushed by tariffs, Tennessee whiskey, freaking Kentucky bourbon, so much carnage, right? It's yeah, I just don't see the stock market expanding, and with bad news and numbers combined for the next 4 years probably, it's going to be treacherous, but it will establish a new bottom. It'll all get priced in. Only question is that bottom going to be at 3,600, 3,200, 2,800, 25, or 25,000, 30,000, 35,000? We don't know. The market's going to have a mind of its own, but it's going to find its bottom. And when it does, if you still have some money, that's when people make real freaking money in the stock market, when they buy it after it's had the legs taken out of it, right? And that's why you want to be invested 30%, because that day comes along when it hits a bottom, when it just dropped freaking 1/3. Let's see, what was that, 40, 44? What's a third of 44? You know what I mean? 15. So 30. So if it loses a third of itself, it'll be at 30,000. You know, that's what it did when Trump was in office last time, except it was at the end of his time in office. And then he just gave a bunch of money to everybody that was suffering in the Wall Street. Like, we gave more money to them than any poor people like me got in unemployment, right? It was just huge corporate bailout. Nobody remembers that. He crushed the economy and then helped it come back a little bit by just giving money to corporations. And you know what they did? They bought their own shares back. They didn't hire more people, do anything good with it. Anyway, I think that's all the news. I think that's pretty much all the news. All right. I'll be accumulating more news for tomorrow. If I didn't talk about it today, it's going to talk about it yesterday or the day before or the day before. This is episode 31, maybe. I'm doing my best. It's kind of fun. I'm liking this. I've been watching the news my whole life, and trying to do the news my own way, in my own style, with my own opinions, but also with, of course, the facts, and helping you read between the lines, because sometimes there's just a disconnect between what any normal intuition would see and what's going on and what people are saying, right? And I think that's what we're all experiencing here on my channel. You know, me and my staff, this hard-working staff behind me, they do a great job. You know what I mean? Doing all this work for me, compiling all this data. And again, I found another one of my marbles, so that's cool. Because I've been looking for my marbles ever since I lost them in the fire. And I got these nuts here, these glazed black nuts. These are my black nuts. So I like to show those to people. Yeah, what else? And yes, if I was sponsored, I'd like to be sponsored by Canadian whiskey. What else? All right. And I recommended you buy toilet paper, because Canada, a lot of our raw materials for toilet paper comes from there. But now we supposedly took all our tariffs off of there, so maybe that's off the board, but maybe it still is, because maybe they're gonna be like, you know what I mean? Elbows up. We fuck you now. We're gonna make it more expensive. Whatever. You know what I mean? They're retaliation just for being dicks. So who knows? I wouldn't trust it entirely, but nevertheless, I just bought toilet paper. They have this $5 toilet paper at Walgreens. It's hard to not want that. $5. Look. 12 rolls. $5. $5. I mean, I'm just saying. All right, and that's how you're gonna get through all this if you do, being smart with your money. Buying the $5 toilet paper, and yeah, I'll be reading about the memory and learning about that and telling you what I learned. Oh, and if you didn't see it, if you've forgotten, I am the Mary Jane football fantasy champion. So yeah, in case you didn't know that, you should, because I mean, you might see me in that way, but I am actually one. So, all right, love you guys. Remember, I can't do nothing about being this ugly, but you can do something about being a Republican. And if I did I mention it already? I did not. I did not use. This is just shampooed. This is not. There's no conditioner. All right. You probably wondering, shampoo, conditioner? You know. This is just shampoo. This is the just shampoo look. So that's fun. Oh my! Can you imagine? I'm 56. So in like a year and a half, I'm gonna go to a 40th high school reunion. 40th, right? With this hair, right? Like these gonna be guys there with millions of dollars, and they're gonna look over me and they go, "God damn, I wish I had his hair." I wonder what percentage of guys there are gonna be bald at 58 years of age, or just, you know, oh look, I got some gray, but pretty good for an old man like me. Like I'm lucky to be alive, let alone have hair. But you know, when you got nothing else in your life, you got no money, you got no job, gonna be homeless maybe soon, who knows? It's nice to have at least one thing going for you. So I'm gonna roll with that. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Do no harm, do no crime. Thanks for watching. All good things and all good time. And I'll be doing this again tomorrow because I'm gonna watch a bunch of news, and it's gonna go in me like pure evil. Then I'm just gonna need to tell somebody. So, and this is super good for me. Like, oh my God, when I get up on stage next time as a wannabe comedian, because that's all I am at this stage. But I'm working hard at being a wannabe. And but man, my comfort levels on stage are gonna be so freaking much from all this live interaction. It's uniquely interesting like that, like what what's happening to me as a result, and it's just giving me this confidence of sorts. And man, it was freaking electrifying, like internally, knowing I was doing this yesterday for hours with all these people from my freaking childhood to, you know, everybody I've ever known is on there. And so yeah, that's why I'm not on there now. Even though I'm gonna get all this attention, to be, you know, so many viewers or whatever. I mean, it's like 10 times the viewers from this. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily good for my brain. So I'm gonna do more of it. I'm gonna put it out in other places. But that's the one that's like super personal, right? Facebook. It's kind of weird like that, right? So yeah. Anyway, that's what's really going on. And might start jogging, although, and it's kind of funny, but it's totally true, right? Who got to write jokes? But I might take my belly for a run. I might start running, but I'm really just taking my belly for a run because I'm like, oh man, can I even run? I think it's gonna be bouncing, you know, like a woman, you know, who's got needs to wear a sports bra. I don't have any girdles, and but you know, maybe I can endure that discomfort and wear a really big shirt so that maybe 2 shirts so it's not too visible, because there's gonna be a lot of jiggling, shaking around going on. But I need to work on it. And legs, you gotta get legs. When you get old, you gotta have strong legs or you're in trouble, and mine are not as strong as I'd like. So yes, walk, good idea. And we got hills here. If I just walk hills, yeah, I need to do more of that. But I'd like to do a little bit of running. I'd like to do one more triathlon maybe in my life, and do a little bit of jogging. There's some joy in the pain, you know. So anyway, yeah. All right, I'm gonna shut up now. Arigato. Still under an hour. That's good. And yeah, pretty funny though, that freaking tariff, man. Holy crap. and $10 trillion gone in 2 days. Thanks to this amazing genius. Because, you know, he got a relative that went to MIT. So, you know, he got to be smart. Oh, my God. Anyway, all right. Okay, I got it. See, this is me being self-indulgent, just talking too much. I talk too much, but it's good. Thank God I got a place to do it. And thanks for watching. And we'll see you tomorrow. I'll be doing this sometime or another. Maybe I'll try to start doing it at 2 or 4:20 every day, or I don't know. But it piles up, and then I become a procrastinator at some point, and then I take a nap, and you know. Anyway, all right. See, keep talking too much. All right, love you guys. Aloha. Do no harm, do no crime. Unless your crime is smoking weed or getting reproductive health care. All right. That's worth mentioning. All right, much love. Aloha.